Hello Saviors and welcome. My name is Seivar24 and today I'm going to be doing my Survivor Tofu runs all in one giant episode. Originally when I decided to do these episodes, I was thinking about doing them one by one in a prolonged series just to try and make things a little interesting, but after I found out what they did, I was basically thinking it would probably be better just to get them all out at once in one long tofu survivor video. So the order I did the tofus are in, well, obviously tofu, because he's the first one that you have to do. And then after that, you gain access to konjac and Ouri-Mochi, which the second one I did was Ouri-Mochi, and then I did konjac after that. And then the fourth one I did was Flan, who I'll explain later on in a bit. And then the last one that I did was Annin-Tofu. And every single one of them has their own unique setup of kits. Everyone has their own unique play style, but every single one of them have their own setup in difficulty, in my opinion. All right, so so what I originally was gonna do was I'm gonna do them individually, and I even made two videos, one for tofu and one for Ouri-Mochi. And then after I made the other three, I was like, you know what? Probably better just to do them all at once. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the original video. I'm going to play the original two videos that I did already and leave the original commentary in there. And then I'm going to go to the last three characters, and what you hear here is going to be the new commentary. And I'm going to do them all in one mega episode. I actually paused because I forgot to actually start the recording before I started the tofu. Alright, so we go ahead and start off. Nothing special. But as for these first setup of zombies, most people usually run behind the first two zombies and then in front of the other one. I actually found out that if you hug this right wall and run in front of the female zombie and then behind the second zombie, you can completely bait them out and then just stick to the right wall. Here, I usually just beeline straight for the closest piece of land, and Tofu will get by. Hopefully you don't get ankle bitten, but if you do, it's not too big of a deal. Alright. And then there's the dogs up here. Most people hug the wall to the right and then just kind of make a beeline for the thing, but I actually do this kind of curve to the left type of situation, and it kind of seems to work most of the time, but I do think I get bit here. Oh, okay, well, I completely avoid getting bit here. Alright. And then here, there's not much to say, just skip past them. Now here is where the dogs come into play. Basically, run into the zombie, there's no way you're going to be able to avoid it. You push her, and she just kind of stumbles back, and the dog misses you. Hug the wall to the left, and just kind of straight to straight back and forth. I unfortunately did get bit here, and then I got bit some more, and I got bit. I was very unfortunate this run. Oh, right, this is right. I forgot. I had to quit because I was like, yeah, I made too much. I'm getting bit way too much here. Another thing to take into note is that this thing is total RNG, so I completely forgot that. So I completely got destroyed there right at the bridge, and then I had to restart. Okay, so this is the actual run. I only did 2 runs in this particular recording. I had to do more than that just to get by. But anyways, yeah. Right here at the start, you get the female zombie and the other zombie to pop in the water, run in front of the female zombie, run behind the other zombie, and then hug the wall to the right. They'll miss you every time, guaranteed. Then just make a beeline for the next piece of land. I don't know why. That guy didn't lunge at me like he normally would everybody. I guess I was getting that one rare chance, but basically it was a guaranteed no bite. Okay, so this is actually the one where I do get bitten by the dogs initially, which I was like, that's gonna take a bit of out of me, but it wasn't too bad. Nothing like that previous run. So again, arcing path, but I still get bit. Remember, most of this is RNG half the time, so you really don't understand as to what's gonna happen. The dogs are the most predictable, but at the same time, that predictability is very limited. Get bit, or get attacked. Shove her around. Here you just kind of strip. I don't know why. That dog never came after me. Run behind the zombie. I was very fortunate here and did not get bit at all. So, after you get to these stairs, hug the wall to the right, and then make a wide arcing path around the zombie. Just run past this zombie, hug the wall to the right, and just run through these zombies, and then take an immediate left. I got attacked by Willem Dafoe here. I'm not going to let that go. And so Willem Dafoe grabs me, and I stab him with a knife, which is fine. You can afford to, like 1 or 2 extra knifings throughout the entire run. And because you don't have like the aim speed boost, you don't really get to use that because you're lacking a gun. All right, now here you're gonna get attacked by 2 G monsters. This one's ignorable, but it's the second one that's guaranteed to grab you every time. Use a knife, no choice. I got very turned around here. The camera wanted to be very weird for whatever reason. And then just beeline for the next patch of land. Okay, this zombie, ignorable, just run past him, hug the corner. This one, kind of pay attention to your camera angle, and just take a wide arcing path around him. He'll miss you every time. I kind of struggle to get into the elevator here. I kind of just play around with my knife because there's not much point in just doing nothing. And then we go into here. Every time I go into this room, I always get caught in something because I can't see. Usually it's like a beam, or maybe it's a zombie. I can't quite tell. Here, I get very unfortunate. I get bitten. And then I get turned around because zombies do that to you. So I throw another knife in, and then I try to find out where the hell it is that I am because everything's so dark. So I managed to lose an extra knife and get hit a little bit more. Now, here's where the first licker appears. It's at the very end of this long hallway. And I somehow managed to bait out a swinging attack and then get hit the second time. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't get attacked the third time. I just completely made it inside. These zombies are completely ignorable. Just, like, there's nothing to worry about with these guys. As long as they're doing their get-up animations, then there's no point in ever really. Get through this door, make an immediate bank to the left, and now you're on the catwalk. Now, in my fourth Survivor, I always shot these guys, but I didn't realize that you're able to just completely ignore them and get through. Just hug these canisters to the left and beeline for the ladder. Okay, as soon as you get up here, there's not much choice. Run to the right shoulder of this zombie and stab him with a knife. You'll shove him into the other police officer, which will knock him out of the way, and then just trying to strafe back and forth between these zombies. Again, RNG is a factor. Now here I decided to kind of just take it slow, because you're actually able to take it slow here. Just completely walk, and this licker will completely ignore you. Speedrunners, obviously, will not do that. As soon as you turn the corner, start sprinting towards the door and open it up. Now here is where you've come across your first encounter with Mr. X. It won't be... Now, as soon as you get down to this hallway, you'll start hearing footsteps. As soon as you do that, hug the wall and then stop for a second. Then run and make a wide arc around him. He'll whiff every time. Not sure why. Okay, so run in here. I always get bit by this zombie, which is why I decide to combine my herbs right now and use the defensive boost. Going inside here. Just beeline it for the door. I was very lucky. Normally there's supposed to be a female zombie that comes to the door and attacks you there, but I got very, very lucky. And then here I kind of hug the wall to the right and then go straight into the spade key. Somehow I didn't get grabbed by that zombie. Shove a knife into this guy and then go. There's not much else you can really do here because you're going to get grappled by one zombie or another. Here, we're going to get attacked by licker. And just like every other licker, we're going to get hit. As soon as I get hit, I start getting crippled. So I have to use the red-green herb mix to fully heal myself. No, thankfully, we don't have to worry about getting hit a second time. But here's where I really get screwed over. I use a knife to try and attack that zombie, but then I get hit by Mr. X, and now I'm surrounded. So I get grappled by another zombie, X hits him, and then I get grappled by another zombie, and then I get grappled by another zombie, and I just used up like 3 knives right there. So as soon as I get in here, I like check my inventory, because I'm like trying to make sure I got enough knives to spare. And, okay, maybe not. So here you're going to get grappled by one of the plant monsters. There is no way out of it. Simply throw a knife in one of them and run. If you don't have a defensive item when you come across the plants, it's a guaranteed death. Okay, hug the door's right exterior and then just dash in as soon as the zombie breaks through. Take a left turn. Normally I get screwed up, but I actually managed to make a correct decision this time around. Ignore the dog and the officer. They will completely ignore you. Well, they won't completely ignore you, but they won't be able to respond fast enough in order to actually hurt you. In here, bait out the break-in, and then dash through immediately. You're gonna get grappled, and then try to run through the zombies. I unfortunately got bit here, so... Like I said, a lot of this is RNG. Here I got tongue lashed, but thankfully it wasn't the wide jumping slash attack. Now here is a bit of an issue because you're unfortunately not able to get past this zombie even with the defensive item. You're always going to get bit. But that's what the defense booster is for. Because for whatever reason, zombies on stairs will bite you. Having trouble getting through the door? Take a wide arc around the G monster and then go down the ladder. Here, kind of go left a little bit, and then just kind of bob and weave to the between left and right, and it actually works to manage to get you away from the lickers. You might get unlucky and get tongued instead, but nevertheless, it will pretty much be RNG. Whether it works or not is completely up to the game. Alright, now go in here, and you're going to come past the G monster. I got unfortunate because this plant monster was actually down there by the corner, but after that I pretty much got through scot-free. Just hug the wall and then go through the path. Then as soon as you get down here, you're going to get bit again. Thankfully, my defense booster is lasting long enough in order to get through this bite. And that puts me on the edge of critical condition. Unfortunately, I got caught up on Willem Dafoe there. Stab this zombie, and then run. And then from here on, you're scot-free. The defense booster wears off just in time for us to make it through. And I got so fortunate. Cue the fanfare! I made it through. I definitely didn't get the fastest time. I know that for sure because I got too hung up in that one corridor with Mr. X and the zombies.
I wanted to meet the Grim Reaper.
But then I celebrated, I was all happy, and then they show me the, they show me my time, 9:08. And I was pretty happy for myself just being able to get through it in the first place. Alright, so I just go ahead and skip the cutscene, and I've seen it plenty of times.
Guess there's no keeping down the Grim Reaper, huh? Relax, Mr. Reaper.
Anyways, like I stated before with my tofu run through, run in front of the first zombie and then run behind the second one. Hug the right wall. You'll dodge every time. Keep going, and then touch the first piece of floor that you find. Again, for whatever reason, he didn't like to grapple me like they normally would. And if you try to do that as Hunk for whatever reason, you'll fail the dodge. Alright, dogs, nothing special. Hug the right wall and then juke them into biting the fencing. I'm not entirely sure what you would call it. The railing? Yeah, there. Right, that. Just juke them into biting the railing. And then drop down. Or these guys. Come over here and shove a grenade into this girl's mouth. And then let her blow. I'm not entirely sure what the dog's deal was that time, but I chuck a grenade that way. Takes care of the zombie in front of me, as well as any of the other dogs. Well, one of them still managed to get past my grenade, but I somehow managed to dodge him. I heard him coming a mile away. Alright, take a wide arcing path around this floor crawler. Hug the right wall as you go down the stairs. Go through the doorway, then hug the left wall, and hope you don't get attacked by Willem Dafoe here. I got caught up, but I somehow managed to get lucky enough to still evade the attack. Up the stairs. Again, we have no gun, just a bunch of grenades, so we can't use the gun stair speed up. Okay, upcoming is the G-monsters. Not much to really say, it's just like with Tofu, get caught by one and then shove a grenade in the mouth. That one wanted to spew out some spawners, but it really didn't make a difference. Anyways, grenade, mouth, try to figure out my orientation so that I can move myself accordingly. Of course, this G-monster likes to be in my way for whatever reason, and didn't decide to follow up on an attack. Up the stairs we go, past this zombie. This zombie upcoming likes to stay on the stairs every now and again for whatever reason, but basically just go around him and you'll avoid him every time. The big con about Ouri-Mochi is that he has no healing items, unlike every other unit that you've come across so far. And as you can still see, I have 33 grenades so far. I've only used 3. We still got a shit ton of grenades to go. Alright, so up the stairs, into the dark room. I finally figured out that as soon as I see this zombie, I run towards his bald head. And then just do a quick bank as soon as I see the wall. Keep going, keep going. Now here's where we actually have to kill something for a change. The liquor. Throw a very early grenade, and then throw another one to kill it. You have to use 2 grenades on the liquor, otherwise it will not die. And then we come to this corridor on the catwalk. And then as soon as I get close enough to see the door, pop open a grenade, kill everything inside, because the dogs like to be assholes at random times, and sometimes attack you when you're going down this corridor. And it's pretty much impossible to avoid. There I was just checking my grenade count. I still have 30. So I ran into this zombie and shoved a grenade in his mouth, though I'm thinking I could have just thrown a grenade. That could have probably worked better, actually. Because here's where I actually get a chunk taken out of me right now. And like I said, he has no healing, no medical items, he's basically just tosses grenades. So sprint, because I found out that there are dogs in here, and get tackled by this liquor. Shove a grenade in his mouth and he can't do anything about it. I didn't hear them before, but I just heard them after watching this recording that, yeah, there are dogs there. Alright, so now you're safe. Up the stairs, and here's where we deal with Mr. X. Just hug the right wall, and then bank hard left, curve around him, and he'll whiff every time. I used to think that you just had to pause, but no, just bank. I got lucky with this zombie, he wasn't facing the door. And then these guys are pretty easy to dodge, just beeline it for the door as you bob and weave around them. Normally it's supposed to be a female zombie, but I got lucky, again, with that particular corridor. Hug the right wall, and then go here is what I did, and I thought I could get away, but no. I should have just faced the zombie head on, or gone the other path. Now don't go to the zombie on the right, just chuck a grenade to this doorway to the left and kill all the zombies. You get a free pass. This is where things get really tricky, and I actually screw up a little bit, because I tried to huck a grenade, but he didn't actually huck it immediately, and I almost got hit. But then I do it again, and he's not hucking a grenade, and so I get hit. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Apparently it takes a little bit longer than I thought for the arming time. Chuck a grenade up the stairs. Feed a zombie. And then run. Now, I am in critical condition because of that last bite, but I managed to make it through the rest of the game without getting bitten from here on out. Okay, so not much to say about these plant monsters. Get attacked by one and shove a grenade in his mouth. You won't get attacked by the other one, don't worry. Mr. X is unfortunately right on my ass, and because I am in critical condition, I actually am slower than I would have been originally. Alright. Hug the right side of the door, and then jump in. Falling zombies, don't worry about them. It's actually kind of comical. Maybe throw in some Wilhelm screams. Officer and dog, don't worry about them. They won't pay attention enough in order for you to be for them to be a bother. Alright, now for this upcoming spade key door, you have one of two options. I went for the shove the grenade in the mouth thing, bait out an attack, and then either shove a grenade in the mouth and hope you get lucky, or just toss a grenade. I almost get bit here, and now I gotta deal with another licker. Toss a grenade really early, and he got thrown behind me, which I figured I would have to throw another grenade, but no, as soon as you get to the stairs, he can't reach you. Toss a grenade up at the zombie at the stairs, because if you touch him, he's not counterable. And now we gotta deal with the G monster. I got unfortunate enough to the point where he actually grabbed me, but, you know, being that I have a shit ton of grenades, just shove one down his throat. I almost got fortunate afterwards, however, because there is a dog. Or I did get unfortunate enough to get attacked by the dog, but nevertheless, I still managed to get out. Now here I kind of take my time because I'm in critical condition, don't want to really aggro the lickers. Toss a grenade, then lick. Which I kind of got flinched by my own grenade's shockwave effect. But they take way too long in order to recover from the grenade's effect in order for you to really have to worry about them coming after you anyway, so no need to huck another grenade. Alright, straight shot down to the fence, leading outside. Going through. Here I decide to huck a grenade. And the flinching causes me to not get grappled for whatever reason. Willem Dafoe grabs me. I shove a grenade in his mouth. And then just run past. See what you can do with an army of grenades? Huck a grenade downstairs because you can't get past that zombie if he grapples you on the stairs. Huck another grenade. You're gonna get hit by the shockwave, but at least the zombies will too. Hucking one last grenade. All the zombies in that corridor are, in fact, dead. There is none left. Now, Mr. X is still right on my hide, but thankfully, I don't have to worry about it anymore. And this is the end of literally my first run of Ouri-Mochi. He is actually fairly easy. You just gotta make sure to kill everything before they kill you.
I wanted to meet the Grim Reaper.
I'm willing to bet my time wasn't as good as I would have liked it to be. This picture is just too funny when I first saw it. This is my run as Konjac. Konjac is a character who is basically the mopper-upper, as it says. And basically his entire kit consists of lighting up the battlefield, quite literally. So I use the same strategy that I use for everybody in this entire run. I run for the female zombie, behind the male zombie, and then hug the trash wall. As soon as I get to here, I just beeline it straight for the first setup of the first patch of land and hope that I don't get grabbed, which I do here. Now, Konjac's entire kit consists of a flamethrower, 2,000 points of flamethrower fuel, and 41 flame rounds for the grenade launcher, 1 in the chamber and 4 spare stacks. He also has a first aid spray and a green herb with 6 hand grenades for defensive items. Now, here when we get to the dog room, we go inside and hug the wall to the right, let the dog eat the grate, and jump down. Nothing spectacular. And then here, I shoot the dog on the bridge, and then back away from the zombie lady and shoot flames in her face. I wasn't quite thinking speed strats, I was just kind of thinking more along the lines of safety. Eventually she does fall, and now I'm getting chased by more dogs, which I realized means that I made a mistake. So now I'm just trying to fend off the dogs. This wasn't... I don't know if this was or was not my first run of Konjac. I believe it was, but at the same time, I was kind of half-assed knowing what I was doing. And then I forgot about this guy, and so I spewed flames on him. And he died just before he bit me. And I can hear a dog behind me, but he doesn't get the chance to bite me again. As you can see, though, I do get hit pretty hard through that. So, making the mistakes I did, I try to be careful. So, going down here, basically, I just run in, go behind Willem Dafoe here, and somehow manage to avoid getting grabbed. And then I go up these stairs. Now, because he does have the gun, I was actually able to use the speed stair boost with the guns. Basically, as you're putting your gun down, you actually get a speed boost. It's small, but it's there. Shoot a flame round into this guy, reload real quick, and then shoot one into this guy. I almost didn't make it in time. They'll stay in flames for pretty much the entire run. Ignore this guy, not worth the effort. This guy likes to appear on the stairs at random times. But this time he really likes to play peekaboo at random times as well. So just take a wide berth around him and you'll be fine. Here I go to check, like show off my grenades. Knowledge to really showcase. Next up is the dark room. The dark room is pretty much the place where I can hardly ever see anything. But run towards this baldy. And I get stuck on a pole, which is kind of unfortunate. And I shove a grenade in this guy's mouth because, well, I made a mistake. I made a mistake by running into a steel beam, which has happened to me a lot in these runs, believe it or not. Next up is the very first liquor. Shoot a flame grenade. And then I spew him with flames to make sure he's dead. Corridor zombies, I just hurl a flame grenade because that room really likes to be annoying. In fact, I hurl two just because the zombies don't seem to want to die. And then I drag out the... okay, maybe I shoot a third one. Just want to drag out the flame. I really want to waste grenades on that hallway, don't I? Jeez. It's been a day since I actually... oh, jeez. So here I just go ahead and run because after I saw the dog, he just seemed to disappear. Clearly, I didn't have a well thought out plan for this guy. Shove a grenade into this guy's mouth because it takes forever to reload my flame rounds. Run in, and then give this guy a grenade. As soon as you reach the door, he jumps you. So I shoot a grenade just before the door in order to make sure that he doesn't bother me ever again. Going up the stairs, we come across our first encounter with Mr. X. I use a strategy I do every time, but I do believe this is the one where I get knocked down. Yep, there it goes. He tosses me back into the hallway, and I have no choice. Back up and shoot a flame grenade. What's funny is the only thing that caught fire was his face. So now he's just Ghost Rider. This zombie likes to be RNG at times, and I just went past him. Here I get grabbed, can't really do anything about it but shove a grenade in his mouth. And he some reason explodes, and I get turned around, go through the door, and I get bit by this chick. Now because I'm in critical condition, I have to use my first aid spray.
What the hell, hunk? You're late for extraction.
Shoot a grenade at this guy.
Heads up. The guys at the top just ordered a full cleanup on rack.
Shoot a grenade at this guy. I completely whiff and end up having to shove a grenade in his mouth. Which explodes immediately because, you know, he's on fire. Running through this door, we get a looker to chase us and throw him as a flame grenade. Basically, the entire time you're running as Konjac, you basically just use a flame grenade. See? Like there. However, I missed Mr. X with my initial shot, and then shoot him at actual time. However, I get tackled by this zombie who didn't get flinched by the grenade, and end up having to run up the stairs. Not taking the chance with my grenades, I just decided to hold them off, which thankfully the guy didn't decide to tackle me. Moving on, now we come across the plants. Shoot a flame grenade as soon as you get through the door. Shoot two for good measure because you have to get both of them, otherwise they're not going to fall. You could potentially get grappled by one and you do not want that to happen. Hug the right wall and then dash through the door. Wilhelm scream. Now Now, once again, oh, geez, the dog almost did get me there. Bait out the door, and then shove a flame round. I shove a grenade in him immediately afterwards, and it gives me a few invisibility. Not invisibility, invisibility frames for whatever reason. So I didn't hit the liquor directly. And I didn't reload my flame round, which was a mistake. And then I shoot the zombie afterwards, and now I'm fine. Go through this door, hug the wall to the left, and then go down the stairs. Normally I say take a wide arc to the right, but I found out that you can just do that instead. So just simply shoot a flame round. It doesn't matter if you hit them or not. The flames will make them spaz out, and you'll have enough time to get through the door. Through the corridor, down the stairs. Going through here, I throw out a grenade. Shove a grenade in this guy's mouth. Hug the wall to the right. I somehow don't get through. I somehow get through all that without getting hit. Shove a grenade into Willem Dafoe's face there. Do not. I back off here because I do not want to get grappled on the stairs. And then that girl misses me. That girl misses me. And I just simply run to the finish. Definitely not the most efficient, not the best, definitely not the greatest run ever. I just shove a grenade into his face just because, well, it's him. And it's basically insult to injury. Like, you can't catch me. That line never makes sense when it's not Hunk who's actually doing the missions. And so, yeah, that is pretty much Konjac. Alright, so the next character we have on this list is Flan, who is the only tofu in the entire game to have a female voice. She sounds like such a prissy little woman, doesn't she? Anyways, this is me checking out the arsenal myself. I'm surprised at what she has. She has the minigun, the rocket launcher, and spark shot. That was the oddball one to throw into the mix. Like, you have the minigun and the rocket launcher. What else would you need? The spark shot. Now, here I decide to do the usual tactic, but I do end up getting bitten in the ankle. And she's got such a huge amount of shock spark rounds. I'm not sure why. Anyways, I get ankle bitten, which isn't a big deal. We all know the strategy here for the dogs. But yeah, her arsenal, her only defense, she has no healing items, and she only has 2 flashbang grenades. Eat great. Jump down. And here's where I decide to start having some fun. Blow off the girl's head. I can't quite see through the Flan itself, so I actually have to shoot as best as I can because this angle is very bad. And then all of a sudden I finally find the dogs and I start shooting them down one by one with a small spray of bullets. One, however, does manage to get past me. So that was 100 bullets so far. Well, actually 94 bullets, but close enough. Here I decide to bring out the noob tube. I didn't know which button it was assigned to, so I just quickly attached it. Because I removed the RNG factor of Willem Dafoe there. I don't really want to lose my flashbang just yet. I'll need a flashbang for one particular location, and then perhaps a location after that later on was my thought process there. Here I bring the noob tube back out because I forgot about these guys. And then launch a grenade. It makes both of them flinch. Well, rocket-propelled grenade, I should say. It makes both of them flinch with its massive explosive radius. And then, as you can see here, this is what I was talking about, that USS guy likes to appear at random around this door. Not sure why. It really doesn't hinder anything. Just run around him and you're free. Now, because I don't have any medical items and I'm already in caution condition, I decide, yeah, let's try and play it safe here. So I open the door and back off. With the minigun in hand, of course. Now, if you just ever so slightly open the door, the zombies can't come through, and you're actually free to shoot them from through the door. However, I can't quite shoot them, so I decide to back off, whir up the gun, and then put a bullet in their head as they come through. It's kind of hard for me to see for whatever reason. I may need to adjust my brightness settings. So I'm having trouble actually shooting their heads. And I think that was all of them. And then I get grappled by one of them that was on the floor. And so now that makes me even weaker than I was before. Because I didn't know if that was all of them or if there was one that decided to linger in the background. Alright, so now we come across our first licker. Here's where I decide to grab out the spark shot. Why you have 207 rounds of this particular gun, I have no idea. But yeah, just zap his ass to death. That's what I did. Now, because, once again, it's a bottleneck situation, and I hate the RNG of these dogs, I managed to kill the dog as he was coming out the door. And then I just simply run through. This mission is more of a run and gun rather than a survive to the finish. Here I decide to spray down the battlefield with a ton of bullets. And I almost get grabbed by Baldy there. Grabbing out the spark shot. I can't seem to quite hit this. The spark shot seems to have a very limited range. And now I can hear the dogs behind me, so I try to go through the door, and I sort of lag behind, but I'm fine. Then remembering that it's Mr. X, I decide to bring the spark shot back out as soon as I get to the top of these stairs. And then shock his ass. Yeah, go down, bitch. Taking out the minigun once again. This zombie likes to be RNG. Now, there's usually a female zombie that usually grapples you there, but she was just kind of off to the side for a little bit. Now, here I decide to take the safer route because I'm already wounded and have no medical items. Pop this guy's head off with a minigun. And pop this guy's head off with a minigun. Then, once again, I grab out the spark shot. And then I zap this licker to death. Here's where I use my flashback. It blinds all the zombies and Mr. X, who is funneling the hallway. Even this zombie got in my way a bit, and I was like, oh crap, I can't get through him! For a second, anyways. Now comes these guys. Simply shoot the yellow bulbs on them, and they flinch like crazy. I realized that I didn't make one of them flinch, and I had to, like, follow it up by making the other one flinch again. But yeah, as soon as you shoot the yellow bulbs, they have insane flinch. So go through the door, bait out the break-in, and then bonsai. Somehow I managed to miss the initial zombies and just blow a hole through the wall. Grabbing the spark shot once again. I missed the initial attack, but then I fry him. Now, because there's another zombie, I was like, pop his head off. His HUD didn't pop off initially, but he fell down anyways. I was like, close enough. Hug the left wall, and then go down the ladder. Here I get hit accidentally as I try to throw a flashbang, and I still get hit by them just flailing about. Now I have no secondary weapons. And with one noob tube rocket, I have a plan. Believe it or not, I do in fact have a plan. Run to the right of this guy, and then kaboom. I knocked down everything except for these guys right here, so I just hug the wall and run by. Using the minigun, spray down the zombie on the stairwell, Willem Dafoe, the zombie sitting, and this zombie. I got extremely lucky here because I somehow managed to avoid the grapple. Not entirely sure how. I should have died there, honestly. But nope. That was the flan run. Pretty straightforward, easy to understand. Basically, she's a heavy weapons arts specialist.
I wanted to meet the Grim Reaper.
Again, not the most efficient, but I definitely have to say it's probably easier than Kojak's. Alright, last but not least, this one I found to be the hardest out of the bunch. Playing Annin-Tofu, his entire arsenal consists of 2 guns, both of the 45 ACP guns, that is, the M19 and the M19 and the revolver. I don't know why they don't call it Colt, probably because they're not sponsored or anything. But and he only has 1 defensive item, a knife, 9 green herbs, 9 green herbs, a red herb, and a blue herb. It took me 2-3 runs before this one before I actually managed to get through. And he has 360 spare ACP rounds. I'm not sure why. Basically the same thing, basically what you do with him is the same as most of the strats you use for evading enemies in the game. Hug wall to the right, make him eat great. Jump on down. Here's where things kind of differ, however. Here's where I think maybe I can get away with shooting. But it doesn't quite work in my favor. At least not the way I would have liked it. I get eaten super hard here. But in a way that's actually kind of Annin-Tofu's kit. I'm not worried too much because, believe it or not, Annin-Tofu's kit is basically, come take a chunk out of me, I dare you. So again, I managed to avoid Willem Dafoe there. Now here's where I think I might be able to do something with the Colt, because I know of the guy to the left, and so I decided to try and shoot his shoulder out, but it doesn't work. So I end up taking the hit because I can't afford to lose my knife just yet, and I get poisoned. Now the problem with poison in this game is that when you're affected with poison, I accidentally pause instead of tab, is that when you're affected by poison, you unfortunately get hazy effects. Sometimes you like can't reload your gun, you kind of like stagger for a second, you're slow. It's not worth being poisoned. So I combine the red herb with the blue herb and then use them together. The last USS zombie in this corridor was completely oddballish because he was in a place where he should have completely aggroed and bit me, but he didn't. In fact, he was in a very odd position, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing there? He was in an even more odd position than he normally was. Okay, so anyways, I used the red herb and blue herb combination just to give myself some super armor and cure the poison. most part, Annin-Tofu doesn't have anything that much different than Tofu, other than the fact that he doesn't have a shit ton of knives. In my personal opinion, he's probably the hardest out of all of the Tofu to actually get through this mission. So here I get hit by the liquor, and so I decide to create a triple green herb and use them. Now I'm a full stack of tofu. And you can hear the liquor behind me. And he claws me as I go through the door. Thankfully, it's still this particular hallway and I don't have to worry about the zombies. Then we get to this corridor. I really usually, anytime I get the opportunity to kill these dogs, I usually take it, but with the guns I have, I don't take that chance. I just use tofu strats and run. And this is why, because the dogs can be real dicks at times. The dogs in that particular hallway are complete RNG fest. Now here, I decide to just go ahead and take a hit. It shoves that zombie into the other one, and now I just basically book it for the door. Which thankfully, I didn't get hit. Now here I decide to take it slow because liquor. And I'm clear up until this point, so I start speed running, and he almost gets me. Now, thankfully, it was the run with Konjac where this happened to me, and not with Mr. X. Or Konjac and not with Annin-Tofu. Basically, just make a wide arc around him, and he'll whip attack. If I get hit, I can't afford to lose my knife because it's the only defense item I have. So I take the hit and run. Essentially, Annin-Tofu's entire kit is basically give me the hits. I can take it. Here I decide to shoot him in the face. And I decide to make these guys flinch. Now, we take our time, because we really don't want to get the attention of the liquor. And now I sprint. Unfortunately, Mr. X is in front of me, and I didn't even think about it before it happened. But he actually grabs me and throws me in the direction I want to go. So I just take advantage of it. I was like, okay, sure. Like I keep on saying, a lot of this is total RNG. So here's the tricky part. If you get caught with these guys, without a defensive item, you get completely destroyed. I went through these guys once and I used up my entire Colt revolver capacity and most of my 7 not M19 rounds and almost got destroyed there. Now we get to the spade key door. Like usual, bait out the break-in and then run through the door. Now because there's multiple zombies, I actually get dropped through the door as well, and I get put in the red. But like I keep saying, Annin-Tofu's entire kit is based off of taking hits. He's got so many herbs to work with that it's unsanitary. Now here I keep running by accident and I was like, crap, I aggroed. But luckily, I somehow managed to get him a swinging attack from him. Here I decide to kneecap this zombie. Because if he grabs you on the stairs, there's nothing you can do to defend against him. I unfortunately got very unfortunate here. And got spewed on by this guy. Which unfortunately gave me poison status and I don't have another means of being able to counter it. Now here's where you start seeing some of the negative effects. I also get attacked by the dog, I think? Kind of hard to tell with the dark graphics going on. Here I decide to take it slow because I can't afford to take the chance of running and then getting attacked because poison kicked in. So I start running here.
God damn it.
Poison will slowly take away my HP, but it's more of a nuisance than anything else. Here's where the poison kind of started to take effect, and then it wore off really quick. Hug the right wall. And I kind of get staggered here by the poison's effect and get attacked by a pair of zombies, so I get a guaranteed fight. I was going to avoid anything anyways. So as you can see, I'm pretty vulnerable, and I was like, okay, I'm in critical condition and it's not showing it. So I combine the last remaining herbs I have, use them, and then throw a dagger in this guy because I thought I got grabbed by the ivy plants, and then I was like, oh crap. But no, I actually managed to get by. Here's the poison effect kicking in once again. Use the Colt to try and kneecap this guy, and I get bit again. Because when you're in poison condition, you're always feeling like shit. There's not much you can really do in order to avoid that. In order to figure out as to how much HP you have, other than just looking at the condition of your character. But yeah, you can now see as to why I think this is probably the worst out of all of them. He's got to be the one with the hardest hit in the entire game out of all of the Tofus. Even regular Tofu is better than him.
I wanted to meet the girl.
And that is all of the Tofu runs. And that was essentially all I was going to do. I wasn't going to be looking for great speeds or anything. I was basically just focusing on getting them done in the first place. But anyways, yeah, in terms of difficulty, I would actually have to rate, how did it go again? In terms of difficulty, from easiest to hardest, I would have to say it's Ouri-Mochi, Flan, Konjac, Tofu, and then Annin-Tofu. In terms of difficulty, that is what I believe is actually the easiest to hardest. The reason as to why I say this in particular is because with Ouri-Mochi, you just have a shit ton of grenades. There's not a lot of thought process put into it. You just huck a grenade, even though you have no healing items, it's pretty straightforward. Flan is much of the same way. You have the most broken weapons in the entire game. Not much to really think about, but you do have to be kind of tactical about when and how you use them. Konjac, his entire arsenal is pretty straightforward and easy as well to understand, but again, he comes in tow with the idea of having to plan out ahead of time as to when to use your actual weapons. The grenade launcher is basically his bread and butter, but it's also got a slow reload time, so you have to worry about that. He does have a few grenades, so you can actually use those in a couple good areas, which I didn't do in this particular thing. I didn't think about it until afterwards. Tofu is pretty straightforward. You basically have to get through with 16 knives, and then Annin-Tofu you have to get through using healing items, which is not that fun. It really is a bit of a game changer and very slow, and his guns really don't compensate for much of anything. They're basically up to basically he takes RNG into full aspect. So that is the Tofu Survivors. I figured that, like I said, originally I was thinking about just doing these one by one, but then I was like, nah, let's just get them all in at once. But that is going to have to be everything for now. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Stay tuned for when the free DLC comes out and I play the Ghost Survivors, because I am actually excited about that, although I don't know when the DLC actually comes out. But until it does come out, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Leave a comment section below and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.